We deserve this. Yeah. We deserve it. Yeah.
I'm living my best life, I ain't gon' lie to you. Called on my people, said go to Vegas, I'ma fly to you. I've been feeling some type of way the last couple years, so I need my niggas here, period. We finna cheers, listen. Yeah, everybody grinding, all I'm touching, baby. Yeah, none of them's a hater, prayer keeps them favored. Balance, they all got their ways, but they don't. They stuck with me for life, and I promise you they know.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Ja, founder of Voice of the Streets podcast. I want to give a very special shout out to my co-hosts, Diverse and Dakota Sloan. Be sure you guys go check out the Voice of the Streets podcast on social media at Twitter, Clubhouse, Instagram, Apple, Google, and Spotify. Thank you.
Stop until I'm finished.
You finally have a vacation.
What's happening? You now tuned in to Voice of the Streets. This is your boy Diverse.
Hey, man, what's going on, man? It's your boy Ja, man.
Man, it's your boy Legendary Archer. Just saying, Gary Archer in the place to be. Where else would you be but here?
You feel me? And like the first word he said, legend, man. We got a legend sitting down on the couch with us right now, man. So, tell them what field you in and what even got you started in the first place.
What was crazy is, just to fill everyone in, bro, I'm 50 years old, white man, born and raised in San Francisco at first, born in General Hospital. Mm-hmm. And during this time in Hunters Point I lived, went to Horseman Elementary School, James Lake Junior High School, McIntyre High School, then moved to San Jose. But what really got me to make me be who I am was actually being the standout, where people always question who you are, why you there. You know what I mean? Being uncomfortable is what made me who I am, because people appreciated the way I was comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So I really didn't even understand what it meant being one of the three white families in a neighborhood at a time. And I didn't even realize what white, black, it's weird to even say that now, like the way the world's set up, but, and I didn't even realize we was poor, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't realize that shit till you older, and you're like, oh fuck. So through this process, I've always had this intellect about me, like this real sharpness about me and being able to take information and apply it. So as I grew up to be who I was in my neighborhood, it was like, gee, what you think? Tell me what's going on. I heard about this. This is way before looking up on Google and all this stuff. So when you had to do your school reports, you had to get the encyclopedia, you know what I mean? You had to be manual. It was like real studying going on. There was no cheating the code, right? So back then, I was always the guy to kind of explain what they're trying to tell us to do in a language they can, in a way, and put some sort of metaphor together where they can understand what it meant. Because there's a lot of opportunities that pass over neighborhoods that you don't realize is available for people like you, right? And so I was always the guy, if the police came in the neighborhood, no matter they pulled through, I'd walk out in the street hey, what's going on, man? Mm-hmm. Hey. And give a chance for everyone, if they're doing something mania or not, give them a chance to not even be associated with nothing, right? Yeah. So it started off as simple as that. Little by little, and at the time there was disco music was out, a number of disco music, and the rock was out at the time, rock music, Def Leppard was big, Ozzy Osbourne, big, and all nationalities fucked with it, it was fucking with it, bang, bang. And then we, as a kid growing up, we used to go to the grocery store, we used to help people carry their groceries to the car for quarters. Mm-hmm. It cost a quarter to get on the bus, and a lot of stuff was a quarter at the time, so we was charging people quarters to help them carry, their groceries. That was our hustle as a young kid, right? We didn't live in the suburbs. We couldn't put a lemonade stand up. Even though when it got cars, it was just ghetto. Fuck your lemonade ass shit, right? The fuck you help me carry my groceries, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So we was I was always looking for a need, oh shit, I bet you we could get together and do that. So we were doing that for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I came up with this, I came up with this plan of we could paint numbers on curbs. Mm-hmm. I don't know if people ever seen the addresses of people's houses on the curb, right? And I was like, dude, look, let's count it up. There's money out here. So I get this little team together. Right. You know what I mean? I had a paper route at the time, and I saved up money to buy paint and stencils, and I came up with this big ass plan where we wrote this, hey, my name isn't, had a blank space, and whoever it was wrote their name on it. I'm coming Saturday to paint addresses on everyone's curb. $5 for us to paint your curb. If you can, put $5 in this envelope, leave it out for us. And if you don't have the $5, we'll paint it for free.
Right.
Because I want the whole neighborhood to be fresh. Basically is what we said.
Right.
So that was our little move. When we did that, and all of a sudden, that turned into like real money. Like real money. Like people were like, what? And they seen the kids out there, and we just really had this little game together. And this whole little hype. And then all of a sudden we hear about this movie coming out called Wild Style. So there's this movie called Wild Style, and it was being shown down in the Mission, one theater, and we're like, yo, it's about kids from New York. It's about some new music called hip hop, right? This was like 1984, 83, 84, and so we all got a couple $. We go down to the theater and we're watching it as kids, like 30 of us. We're just watching it. By that time, I had a big ass crew of kids, and we're just watching, and we see motherfuckers dancing, painting, you know what I mean, and then rapping. We're watching this little thing, and we see people like in Times Square dancing. They getting money. And we're like, whoa, hold on, man, this is fucking us. Like we're all like, this is us. Like we're the cool kids. Like what are you talking about? This is us. So that movie ended, and then we left that movie with this whole new mindset. Yeah. As we walking out, we're like, bro, we need to get a fucking breaking crew. We need a fucking graffiti group. You know what I mean? We need all this shit. We need a DJ. Right. And that's when we turned to my brother, his name Jim. We like, bro, you're Jazzy Jim. In the movie, this guy named Jazzy J. Yeah. It sounds fucking funny as a kid. You're like, Jazzy J, you know what I mean? The fucker, we're like, bro, you're Jazzy Jim, bro. Fucking Jazzy Jim. Just going crazy. Like at the time, 12 years old, going like, fuck that, we can do that shit. We're just like going mania. Right. And then, a couple years later, we formed this breaking crew called Renegade Rockers. You know what I mean? Which now is like 30, 40 years, in the running still. Right. You know what I mean? First we formed another group called Breakers Inc. And then we was in this breaking contest in 1984 in San Francisco where ballet breaker, like the San Francisco Ballet was putting up the money, and there was this lady named Dominique. She had this TV show called Home Turf. So get on your YouTube and look up Home Turf. There's this Puerto Rican lady named Dominique that actually fucked with the Bay Area culture. Right after we seen this movie, we get into it, and all of a sudden this lady's got this budget, and like as a kid we think it's huge. We think it's huge, but all of a sudden she's coming while we're graffitiing, while we're doing the dancing, and there's this big, and she throws this contest. It's called the San Francisco 1984 Breakers Contest. The winner gets a contract with the San Francisco Ballet. Come on, bro. As kids, we're like, San Francisco Ballet, that crazy, that all Van Ness. Like, you know what I mean? We're kids really like, oh, that big. Like, we're just like, oh, shit. So we get into this shit, bro. And at the time, like, there's some incredible people that grew up to be people. Like there's this, like, Demons of the Mind was the illest strutting crew at the time, right? They was in the contest. They had a DJ contest, and who was in the contest but My Emotion? My Emotion, like 14 years old, 15 years old. He in the fucking DJ contest. That's crazy. Okay? We're in the breaking contest. We got these two babies. Like, we got someone 7 years old and 4 years old. So we got this little baby clique. Like, we got some ill shit. This other crew in San Francisco, who but Wizard, one of the dopest strutters in Frisco at the time. You know what they call him now? King Tech.
Okay.
Come on, man. Okay. Master City. He was part of a crew called Master City Breakers. Like, and I'm just saying, like, this is how back in the day, like, it was a real unification of we're dope out here. And so breaking is what I'm saying is what turned me into Gary Archer. The breaking era, to be able to turn a bad neighborhood where this is before crack, right? So you gotta understand this now is heroin, cocaine in the hood. So you see everyone you know is kind of like nodding, and you're like, yo, dude. And we're trying to be hyped up little kids, and they're like, get the fuck, shut up, da da da. And this breaking shit made us like we could go around the world with this shit. Is what we felt. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? So that's really what brought us into this thing, this breaking thing. And our big goal at the time was to DJ the high school dance, dog. Like. And I'm like trying to tell people, and they're like, oh no, they got DJs all the time. And I'm like, at the time they had bands. So imagine this, at the time, 1984, your junior high school dance, they got bands. Yeah. And they're cover bands. And they're playing whatever the popular music out is at.
I'm trying to get some real
at the time, right? And so we're from the underground, so I'm like, I come home and tell my dad, rest in peace, Ray Archer, I'm like, yo, we're gonna fucking be a DJ, we're gonna DJ and dance. And he's like, DJ? Who the fuck gonna be a DJ? I'm like, Jazzy Jim. And he's like, Jim? He's like, no one wanna hear no one talk about a record. Because a real DJ term at the time meant I talk about the record. I don't play the record.
Yeah.
Right? So my dad's like, I want to hear them. Like, nah, we're going to play the records. And we're going through the whole hype. And he's like, what? And he's like, man, they got bands. And I'm like, no, I'm going to figure it out. They're like, I'm just trying to figure it out. And I'm asking them, like, because my dad's in a band. My dad's part of Carlos Santana's band. When he was growing up, it was called Grandma's Basement Band. So it was called Grandma's Basement Band. He started a band with Carlos Santana. He's part of all that shit. He was signed to Bill Graham when he was 19 years old. You know what I mean? He performed at Winterland and Fillmore when it was like all these major venues when it was brand new TV shit, like some real shit that he done gave up to raise a family. So when I come in, we're like, oh, DJ, he's like, what the fuck? This motherfucker want to hear live music. He still play live music, right? And I'm like, and then I come up with a question that changed my whole life. What was it? I said, does the band take a break? He's like, yeah, every hour. Every hour they take a break. So I'm like,
let's get that.
I'm like, what if I offer the DJ free during the break?
Right.
And then it just started moving, bro. And next thing you know, we started DJing hella shit. And I'm the dude trying to get the dances, and I got my friends, and there's other people like One Life Sensations, Ultimate Creations, like these other big DJ crews started happening. They started having these big DJ battles where culture was so serious in the Bay Area. Where people were like, I'm from here, I'm rolling with this crew. Like, it was like, almost like Grease. It felt like Grease. It felt like Grease. It felt like Grease at the time, right? Like, you know, you used to watch the movie Grease, people were like, this is us, we got our own little. So, like, as we do it, we start moving around, and then, like, my brother done grew up to be Jazzy Jim, he ran KML 94.9 for like 25 years, and now he started a pop station out of thin air, him and Michael Martin, 99.7, you know what I mean, right here in San Francisco, the biggest pop station out. And, you know, and just to be able to be a part of that, going through that is just some amazing ass shit. Just like, through that process, and then all of a sudden, I'm always getting into trouble. I had a rapping crew, I was part of a group, we had a group called Lightside. You know what I mean? That, fuck the dark side, we the light side. We was like a white NWA at the time. We from the hood, right? Crazy. That was just our move. Like, yo, we the light side. You know what I mean? Ice Cube out there, you know what I mean? Talking that, like, I'm just, like, it was just made at the time. You know, my friend New Cube, my friend Dion Haney, like, went to Phoenix Institute of Technology with Cube, and he's telling me, we DJ, and he's like, yo, hold on, and he's asking me, like, bro, this dude said he wrote fucking Boys in the Hood and Fat Girl on My Jock, right? And I'm like, wow. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's calling us. He's like, his name O'Shea Jackson, right? And he's like, he's showing me something. He's like, at the time there was a big thing at the mall where you could act like you're somewhere, right? And do like album covers and record records. Like they had at Great America at the time come sing or rap and you do your own shit. Yeah. So like he was like, I thought this dude had to playing around, right? He had the cover, saying he was on the cover. And I was like, no, that's him, right? So I'm just saying through this whole process, bro, got me real excited about normal ass people becoming giants. Right? And I'm just saying, like, so then from that, we started, like, we trying to rap, and there was no studios. Like, it ain't like now, it was real tape, right? Like, you had to, like, really, no one who had studios were rockers.
The equipment cost more, too.
It was way more. It was so many. It wasn't, first of all, fuck the hourly. You gotta buy a $350 tape before you even get in the recording. Yeah. And that's not today, $350, people.
Right.
That's 1991. 1991, $350. That's like $1,500 today.
So all the plugins that y'all got right now on the Fruity Loops and the Pro Tools and everything, you feel me?
Why do you think they're called plugins? Why do you think they call them plugins?
Fill me in.
Just a little game. Why they call them plugins? Because all the little things you pull up and it has a name and it has a little picture of what it is. Guess what? This is a real hardware device like that.
That's exactly.
And it's in this rack like this all around, and then they got this patch bay. It's called a patch bay with plugs like this, and they be like 17 to 95 and plug in. So now they're like, yo, that's the plug-in.
You had to beat it.
So you know what I mean? Not only that, so look, there's this guy. it's so many.
Yeah.
So there was this guy in South San Francisco who recorded a lot of great people in the beginning. Rest in peace, Cool Nut. I met him there. Sell skis, the RBLs, all these things. Then the guitar man, Stan the guitar man. And this dude, so this dude is real historic in the Bay Area history of recording. This dude had a real studio. He didn't charge us $350. He charged us like $190 what it really cost to buy the tape.
Right.
And then if you didn't have the money and you thought you was fresh, he'd buy the tape and not let you take the tape.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, hold on, man, let's record. The good thing about the tape isn't just one song though. Like you know what I mean? It has a lot of, it has a lot of tape on it.
Right.
120 minutes of tape, right? So, but back then, like right now, when you got to mix down a song or edit a song, it's just a couple buttons and all that. Back then, you had to really do it live with all the channels. You're moving, and then you had to take the tape out of the thing. You had to cut the tape and splice the tape and fucking take that tape back together.
Damn.
You know what I mean? To double something and all that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that's the beginning of the thing.
I bet making a chorus was like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like
The double it. I'm just saying, like it was real hard. At first, it started 4-track, 16-track, 18-track, 24-track, and all that. And
Like, how easy he recorded this song? It was woke up quick at about noon. Stop. Just thought I had to be a cock to stop.
And right now, imagine how easy it is now to do that. Back then, it was woke up quick at about noon. Stop, and then them over here.
Exactly.
And then he had to put a new track and be like, let that track play and then start recording on that track. It was just so amazing.
That was a real punch in, right?
It was a real punch in, and that's why people, it's like now people go to the studio, spend $100 an hour, and not even have their rap ready.
Right.
And just waste some money. Back then it was like, bro, you went there to do, like you already knew you rap.
Right.
Where I'm from, like now kids can't even get on stage, they get a show, they can't even rap. And I'm like, my days, like everyone from the 80s, late 80s, 90s, early 2000s could rap.
Right.
You know why? Because we couldn't record nowhere. So all we could do is say our rap.
Exactly.
We rap right now. Say our rap on your song, his song, your mom's song. We say our rap on any tempo, any tweet. And he's looking at like, oh, hold on, man, I can't rap to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, change the beat, please.
Hold on, man. That's why I say, like, hold on, man. Are you behind me? You ready to rock or not ready to rock?
Yeah.
So like, just so fast forward. That's what gets me excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's happening, man. So, man, if y'all didn't take what he said in already, this is the middleman behind the scenes. He's the person that put the people together to make the artist look like the artist is.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you. Could you tell us like any of the artists that you've worked with that we might have known or anything like that?
Yes, for sure. So let's start with the artists that got me before I even got to work with artists. Like, just know that no one just pick you out of crowd. I'm trying to tell people, just like if you're a producer or you're an artist, man, attach yourself to someone else. Mm-hmm. It's much better to come up with someone and then other people see it, because doing unbelievable is way better than doing what's expected, right? So at the time, like I said, I had my group, the Light Side. I got my Light Side group, I'm rocking around, and that's when I meet Rated X. That's when I meet all the people. That's when I meet Cool Nut. That's when I meet RDL. That's when I meet Selsky. Like I meet all these different people that now like turn out to be legends. We was all teenagers at the time,
Right.
and we all get game off each other, right? And so through this process, just like in my neighborhood days, like when crack came out, like I was the first guy to find someone that sells keys. You know what I mean? And I didn't have no much money to buy a fucking key at the time, but I was like, how much? Hold on. And I'm like, and we never bought ounces again.
Yeah.
Like if anyone knows about crack, motherfuckers buying ounces. Ounce, and then quarter.
Right.
But motherfuckers like, hold on, bro. We spending buying ounces, we can buy what? How much for what? 36 ounces for what?
Right.
Run it.
Exactly.
And then once and the first time we even buy that ounce, motherfucker fronted us 7. Because he was asking me how many people. I said, man, I got 9 people on this. 3 ounces apiece.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, boom, I had 6 ounces, but it was like 3 ounces. You know what I mean? It's my plug. Like, don't get it fucked up. Like, so I'm just, right? But in front of us 7.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, so everyone got their own, they got their own key. Like, just imagine.
Right.
At a young age, and it's just being able to, to me, my biggest lesson is like being willing to lose in front of a crowd. Now you deserve any win you get, right? Like people want to make sure everything's easy, and then hold on, let me. And that's cool, I'm not mad at that, but because I was always willing to do all that and that, I got lucky into a couple things, that's all. I got in a lot of trouble, went to school, got out of school, you know what I mean? I had a science degree, I'm a fucking cryogenic scientist, a lot of people don't even know that shit. And I'm doing that shit. That's when I met my wife D-Ray when I was going to school, and this girl was supporting me while I'm going to school. And also my brother called me one day, talking about I'm starting a label, I need you to fucking come help. You know what I mean? My wife like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? You fucking think we going to the club or something? The fuck you think you doing right out here? Like, you making bread.
Right.
It's 1997, 98. Me and my wife got married in 1998. So I've been married fucking 22 years on you suckers. You know what I'm saying? Not boyfriend, girlfriend. I've been married 22 years.
Yeah, really. I was gonna say.
You know what I mean? No children, not just like real solid, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Real players. So she put me through that, and all of a sudden, one day I just quit I'm working at Applied Materials at the time, making like 95 a year, 90 and 98. It's fucking so much bread. I'm like, eh.
Right.
And I start doing music. She's like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Right? She's like, I done supported your ass to do this. And I'm telling her, like, 100 a year, 20 years, $2 million.
Right.
I said, I think I'm going to do more than that.
Yeah.
Give me a shot.
Yeah.
I said, I always got my paperwork, right? So by her letting me do that, let me be like, actually be like more responsible for every move I ever did from that point forward. Because,
make sure it count.
Because now, the first 5 years, I didn't make no money.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I was so lucky to be a hustler as a young kid. I don't want to save money and do shit right where I'm able to still try to make shit happen, right? And I'm just, so through that, I put out these 2 Filipino groups. One called One Voice, one called Interlude. They're R&B groups. One all girl, one all boy. And they both turned out to be pretty big groups. You know what I mean? I'm working records of pretty big groups. During that time is when I signed three rappers at the time. One named Preach Martin. He has a son named Martin who's very big right now in the pop world. He signed, but his son is Martin. His father was Preach Martin. Mistah Fab, he was 19 at the time. Clyde Carson. All 3 of them like within 3-4 days of each other. Signed these dudes, and I'm like, I'm trying to put some dope shit together. And through that process, that I was able to not only do, like Clyde Carson, let him do what he do with the team. He wasn't doing the same way we was trying to do shit at the time. He had some dope things in line. I was like, yo, go do that shit. He was moving to New York for a couple of years. And he didn't want to be, I'm like, bro, no, you ain't tied to nothing, bro, do what you want to do. And he went and did some dope shit in New York and became someone as well. Came back and started the team. And Fab, me and Fab was able to take over the world from over a dream. Just a dream of someone in a bedroom with a couple of records and backpack full of raps and saying, dude, we're gonna go show the world that we're gonna be one of the greatest that ever did it.
That's the true meaning of taking nothing and making it into something. Like for sure. It seemed like that's the biggest gift that you got. You feel me? And you utilize that for sure.
And that's
like,
that. Me and Fab. Thank God Fab was willing to work as hard as he is. Like Fab's one of the most talented people I've ever seen on the planet. And being able to have that talent and not curse you. A lot of people have talent that curses them to think they don't have to.
Exactly.
I'm so dope. He hella weak. I don't gotta do that shit. But Fab Mama, rest in peace, Dez, Debo, aka Debo ass, like fuck you, Debo, maniac, was like, you punk ass gotta fucking be the best that ever did it. Fuck the best person you know. The same shit I was preaching, right? So he always grew up to be that. So by me coming in and providing us I'm gonna say the blueprint, like I give you the blueprint for free, but it costs money. You know, it costs time. It costs a lot of invested things and things you don't see. Like I tell people, like the moment you start, it's like when you cut a rose off a rose bush, it's dead. Okay, it's dead, but it don't look dead.
Yeah,
it's still cool. You put in some other water, it's still gonna last for 7-8 days. You don't realize that it's dead yet, and then it died. And I'm just telling you, that's what this music game work mean. You do all this work and don't feel like it's changing nothing. Until one day, it fucking turn over and it just change your fucking life. And I promise you that. It went from who the fuck are you guys to like, please come. And I promise you that. At first, we was caught up like everyone else, like we need the gatekeepers to believe in us. Right? Because it feel good. But then I realized they don't have the key. Because like I said earlier, my brother runs shit. And my brother can't always play his favorite shit. He knows the public never lies.
Right.
You get the public behind you. You tell me you get the public behind you? That's that shut the fuck up shit.
Right.
You think every DJ loved that Soulja Boy record when it came out?
Nah, they had to rock it.
They was talking that shit, right? But guess what? Soulja Boy had that shut the fuck up shit. And I'm telling you, a lot of people was not concerned about creating an audience. When me and Fab got together and we rocking with what we were doing, just like when I had Interlude of One Voice, I was about creating an audience. If we create an audience, they can't say nothing to us.
Right.
You right? It can start with 5 people. 5 people that'll come anytime we ask. Then it's 10 people, then it's 30 people. Once it's 200 people, I can sustain my life forever without another soul. Just understand this. That's what I was thinking. So I was figuring this out, and I'm like, and then I started, this is when Google first came out. Just know, there was brand new Google, and I'm like, there's over 330 high schools in the Bay Area. And that was my key. I was like, 330 high schools. Fuck. Mostly I run up and I'm gonna talk to everyone. And that's when I got the game. I'm like, if you walk up and talk to everyone, you look fucking cheap. You look like a whore. You look hungry. You look weird.
You gotta go to the key.
So if you walk up and you hand-pick 10 people, I was like, 10 people per school, 330 school, $30,000 every time we sneeze. Sneezing through the 30,000. So we was about that. And I came up with this plan on how to infiltrate these high schools, because it's not legal to go on high schools and talk about nothing. So I came up with this plan, and Fab was willing to do it with me. And I'm just telling people, bro, like, you gotta become popular if you ever want to become famous. It doesn't skip. And if it does skip, guess what? It's relying on everything you do now. If you meet people on the way up and you treat them well, they won't let you fall.
Exactly.
Because it's part of their reputation now. And that's what it turned into. We walking around, we talking to people, we picking people. I got all this shit. So while we're doing that, I'm working for Showcase Magazine, Frank Herrera, man. We're doing Showcase Magazine. That's when I meet Mac Dre. Mac Dre come in, he fresh out of jail.
Bombs on us, man.
He come fresh out of jail. I'm always been a Mac Dre fan, bro.
Yeah.
Come fresh out of jail. Come to find out, Fab Blood cousin Nucci is Mac Dre manager. Nucci been telling Mac Dre about Fab.
Let's go.
Right? Been telling him. And he like, I still trying to, this is before we had this nation. This is before we even came up with we're going to put everyone on.
This is the seed of it.
It's the very beginning. It was still like romp. It was romp. He out of jail and he's like, yo, I'm putting out this romp compilation and we're going to do this rompilation. And he's trying to like, yo, what's it going to take for the cover? And then we talking to him about the rap. I'm like, bro, we got this vehicle. We rap this vehicle.
Yeah.
And then I pull up the Fab vehicle. And he see the Fab vehicle and he's like, ooh, I want a vehicle with my face on. You know what I mean? Because I'll guarantee you, like, we was one of the first people ever to have rap vehicles. You know what I mean? We had the Fab rap. And to me, that was another big thing. People knew who he was before they heard music to judge. It's got to be big. So we pull that up. He's like, oh, I'm one of them. So we do that. Boom, he get the thing. We give him the cover. And then me and Frank Herrera, I'm telling him, like, bro, you know, I'm kind of tied into this radio shit, bro. I know you don't fuck with you like that. Like, we could do some shit. He's like, no, put together a little plan. So me and Frank put together this little plan for Mac Dre to run this radio thing. This is right when Dizzle Dance come out.
Yeah.
Just like, this how mainly, like, when he's doing his little tweak, his move from gangster manias to the party Dre.
Yeah, to the fun party.
To the party Dre. And we in the office talking together. And this is like, a lot of people don't understand, like, Dre was like, and I was telling him, I was like, bro, you know, people think that you like a killer and this and that, and, you know what I mean? Because me and Frank were trying to get him, radio interviews on big-ass stations. There was none of stuff like this. Thank God we have this now. There was none of that. It was giant FM stations or MTV. That's it. Right? And so I was like, oh, they scared you. He's like, scared
It
you.
was just a rap thing.
He was like, oh, man, they just, and not just his rap, it's just like, you know, he went to jail and didn't tell his friends.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know what involvement he was.
Yeah.
Murder, they don't know what. And he's like, oh shit.
That's true.
So you mean I gotta do my Humpty Hump? I said, what? He said Shock G gotta do Shock G. He said Shock G gotta do Shock G. But Humpty Hump can do whatever the fuck he want. He said, man, motherfucker know Andre Hicks, Mac Dre is Mac fucking Dre, and there's no doubt I'm the mob to the death.
Yeah.
He said, but I could fucking persona out Denzel Washington. You know what I mean? Andre, you know what I mean? Reagan,
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, you know what I mean? Genie of the Lamb. So by making it digestible,
It was so beautiful, yeah.
you know what I mean, was the majestic thing. So as this is going down, there's this guy named B Love. B Love is like tied in, super. You are like the B Love twin, like without saying it, you're like a mini B Love. So you know, I know B Love since he had a fade. That's how long like B Love was the dancer, bro. He came up with all the dances. Like don't get it fucked up. He came up with the fucking Thiz dance and all the shit. B Love's a beast out there in the streets. So but Drake let B Love do this video. It was like 902 something. It was like Exhibition of Speed DVD.
Yeah.
So this video coming out, and then he like, let me do a little segment on Fab. We do a segment on Fab in front of the truck, and Fab just like, do. Next thing you know, Drake's like, who the fuck dude right there? He a superstar, bro.
So let's get him.
That's my dude right there. I need that dude. And then now from Nucci to me to Eric Frank to everyone like, bro, that's the dude we've been talking about. Fucking maniac.
Yeah.
Right? And then like it tied in, and then like Fab is not a slouch, you know what I mean? Show up and just go to work.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to tell people want invites and hella shit. Most of our shit we wasn't invited to go.
Right.
You gotta work for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stand outside, be willing to do it, you know what I mean? So from that is when Mac Dre was like, I'm fucking, I wanna fuck with Fab, bro, boom. So then Fab, and we tied in, and we got someone from Romp, and we was a part of the original Thiz, before Thiz Nation. So now it's Thiz, and we getting ready to put out the Crest Creepers, Fab, we're gonna put out Johnny Cash and fucking Ryder J. Clyde with a little crew. Then we got fucking Hustler, you know what I mean? Like this, my figures was
Shout out
my
to
figures.
P. I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? P was big at the time, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And then we had the studio at Sound Waves up in Oakland, West Oakland. The recording studio was like 2 level.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dre got a house in Sacramento with like on the island. That's why that's where Rappers Island came from. And we just came up with this like Dre's like he opened Dre, started with Fab, my brother Fab, and then Dre opened the doors for Gary to do hella shit, you know what I mean? Where Jacket coming up brand new, and I let him shoot the Barney video at Straight Hits at my recording studio when we brand new, and I'm like, we part of all this shit, and I just know we were because we decided to be a part of it, right? And like nowadays, these smartphones, bro, I love them to death. Motherfuckers ain't using them what they for. They act like because of this I don't have to do nothing. So let's just say, we got Interlude, One Voice, Mistah Fab, Lightside, Mac Dre, and then all of a sudden I'm running Thiz. I'm running Thiz while Dre alive, all these artists, and Dre died. Rest in peace, fucking the Cuddy. And now all of a sudden it's up to me to make sure we put out 180 records since Dre died. 180 records. Being able to orchestrate that, make it happen, make sure everyone got a place and I feel, and just finally trying to figure out that whole movement.
Right.
Everyone has been tied in. A lot of people was like, oh, he wasn't fucking with him. These motherfuckers don't know nothing. And I promise you that. Everyone that had an album that said, like, the real Thiz Nation stamp,
Exactly.
Dre done promised them, like, bro, I got an album. They done came to Sound Waves and it's been negotiated, been talked about, you know what I mean? Like, all these people from the Gorilla Pits to Haji Springer, like, these motherfuckers is really part of this Thiz shit. Let alone all these other gangsters, you know?
Right.
But Dre was like, yo, go find the dopest in Oakland, find the dopest in San Jose, go find the dopest over there, and let's rock. He was really trying to be the new Def Jam. Like, that was our whole goal.
Right.
And Dre dying kind of fucked a lot of shit up. Like, people don't know, like we had deals on the table from the biggest labels on the planet. We was about to really fucking,
It was gonna be something.
like really something.
Yeah.
And then by him dying, it didn't feel right following through with that type of shit, right? That's all. So I was like, us and the family and everything. It's just like as a fan or as someone that's really involved, it's a whole different feeling on how do I maintain this legacy the right way? How do we make it right? How do we show fucking gratitude as well as tell the rest of the world you can't fucking take advantage of this shit. This is our shit. And then now 2020, look around, listen to the radio or the fucking internet, whatever the fuck going on, and say,
I was the influence.
That sounds just like fucking the Bay Area shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And LA having a resurgence, which was dope. But to me, that's a Bay Area sound. Mm-hmm. And that's dope. It's a West Coast sound. Because in the beginning, we stole the fucking gangster West Coast sound.
Exactly.
And then we just did mob shit. And the whole world is influenced off each other, right? So back to that. Mac Dre, Fab, all that shit. Now we're going to go Jacka. PK, I was helping PK a lot do that shit. Messy Mar before he got on drugs. I put out his 2 biggest albums, me and Frank, Disobeyish and Tattoos and Tongue Rings. That was 2 albums me and Frank put out with him. Haji Springer, the Gorilla Pits, and I'm just like so many like tensions.
Everybody in the, you know.
I mean, I'm just saying like
every legend in the Bay.
I'm just saying that these are people that were started from nothing. Like I'm not even talking about people that I helped that was already doing something.
Yeah.
I'm saying like on some real ass like, you know what I mean? Like before JT got crazy, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I fuck with Quinn heavy and his whole family when Little Queen used to be 5 years old rocking at the shit, car shows, and like it was back in the day like we had to be able to be a stand-up motherfucker, bro. It wasn't about talking. It was really showing up. Like, I'm from a neighborhood, like, or anywhere, like, you can't get on this phone to say something, bro. Someone like this.
Pull up.
Stand outside your mama's house. Like, when you come outside, bro, like, you have to see that.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you don't have that. So, to me, if you ain't on or you ain't working to get on, dude, you're losing. Is all I'm saying. You got so many tools in front of you. Us, we had to walk in people's neighborhoods holding trophies up. How fucking dangerous is that? I'm walking, you know what I mean? We from Hunters Point or Fillmore or wherever we at, we walking in someone else's neighborhood like, oh, we the dopest out. Like, that's what you had to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everyone broke would give me money for this fucking CD.
Right.
Like, how? Or tape. It was with tape. So, like, just understand, like, now it's like, if you can't influence someone to listen to your music for free,
What is you doing it for? What you doing?
They already paying their bread.
Right.
You can't figure out the game to make them just like, oh, add that to my fucking normal playlist.
So while we on the present days, you feel me, talking about the phones, man, you also tied into GAUGR. Enlighten me on that. You feel me? Like I'm part of it, but I gotta speak as a third party right now, you know. So what's GAUGR?
The crazy thing is, I meet this dude named Anthony Jones, aka Law. At the time, he does music, incredible writer. I meet him at this music conference, and he's like, "Bro, I heard a lot about you. People say we gotta work together." And he had this song called "Smile" that was dope. Like it was basically the concept was like, why can't we just smile? Like no matter what the fuck you going through, smile. He's fresh getting out of jail off beating a murder rap, conviction. Not like, oh, I'm fighting a case, like beating a conviction of murder and getting out. So he got this little great attitude about him. I'm like, oh, fuck, I fuck with that. Right? So, like, when I'm helping him do that, as we're doing that, he's like, hey, man, I got this little concept called a gas station. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know, like, motherfucker do something dope. It's like gassing. He's like, what if we could, like, decide how much they gassing? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, that'd be dope, right? So from that moment on, we start coming up with talking every day and getting notes together to come up with this concept of like, fuck, this before, like, this right when YouTube out, like this is, I want to say 2012.
Okay.
So YouTube's out about 2012, 2011. About 9 years ago, when we started like creating this, there was smartphones wasn't opening like this. It was just like regular phones, Nextel maybe, you know what I mean, computers. And then we was just like, yo, we do this website. I had this website called We the West at the time. And he was like, man, what if we have a different rating system than the fucking thing? And how much they gassing? Right? And I'm like, and we come up with this concept like, well, fuck, how much they gassing? What if we came up with these categories? So we started going through this back and forth of, let's come up with these categories. And at the time, it was like, just with the mouse. Like, yo, what if we gauge with the mouse, right? Because at the time, people were getting deals off YouTube and views and likes, but then it didn't equal out to what it was. And I was like, yeah, me as a business owner too, if you could say you like it, but what does that mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, you like it, but what do you like? How do I repeat that?
Right.
How do I repeat someone saying I like that when I give them 3 minutes worth of fucking intellectual property? There's no way of deciphering that. So we was like, how do we split that up? So I started going through my old notes, you know what I mean? Back, like I said, I work records.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm working records, I'm going through my paper fucking files, and I'm like, I got these 7, 8 highlighter pens, and I'm just like, talking like on all these different DJs. You know what I mean? We didn't even talk about how I met all the DJs, but as I'm going through all these DJ things, I'm just start highlighting what everyone else is saying, and we came up with like, damn, this is saying the most. And it came down to how much do you like the beat, how much you like the lyrics, how much you like the fucking hook, and if you thought it was a hit or not. And that's what most of the people in power was concerned with. Mm-hmm. I was concerned with would you play it or not, but that's how we evolutionize now. But I was like, but I just looking at my hype and looking at all the things, I was like, if we could fucking split it up like that, I think that's what we do. So we just started going after it, and then we hooked up with Omari, used to be part of Fat Effects. Back in the day, there was a dope-ass graphics company. Omari helped us do this technology, me and Law's idea, me helping find it together, and we started figuring out growing, and then all of a sudden we're like, don't just like it, gauge it, get all these trademarks and fuck, and then all of a sudden once the phone started opening the phone like that, we knew it was gonna be amazing. Yeah. We was like, fuck it, swipe it, don't type it, bro, we winning. like people aren't even use, that's what they do. Right? So we're like, how do we get it back to that? And like, it wasn't as simple as just doing the gauge, right? So our hype was like, we weren't just trying to get the new like button, even though like our goal was to be the evolution of like button. Yeah. The goal was, how do we own this process? What data do we collect as people do it? Like, how does it show in the back end? Because that's what the real value is, right? So it took us a long time to figure out how do we really collect this data. And just for this simple ass graphic of the gauge, there's so much shit that goes into that, so many patterns that go into that. That's insane, and you know what I mean? And like most people, we started the whole thing with HTML and Flash, and midway through the process, we chunked all that because of this new fucking technology called React Native, which in turn, if anyone has a website right now and they do HTML or whatever they do, Flash, all that shit, you have to render your fucking site when you update it. It's like a render thing, and you're down. There's all this little weird shit that happens. This dude in Australia figured out a way to where it's this new language, it still reads what you're doing, but it's this new language that it's like artificial intelligence. It's like they learn what's going on, but now anytime you do edit in the background, it's live. There is no nothing. I can edit right now while you're on the fucking thing, and you see it. So this shit came out right now. Facebook, Google, Yahoo, everyone else is right now rewriting their whole shit in that. Our shit is written in that. Our shit was written at. We've been granted utility patents, design patents, trademarks, all that shit. So we started off on the music, gauging music videos, and now it's like gauge anything. So now we have the API where you can create your own gauge. You know, whatever you want, like whatever kind of company you want. A weed strand, restaurant, just whatever it be. So, you know,
whatever.
You know, so you know, right now, just, you know, our big goals right now is, you know, not to sell the company unless it's someone like Google or someone like that. The Alphabet, they've been talking to us type shit, but it's really to license this technology to Southwest, to Expedia, to Lyft, to Uber, to Hulu, to HBO, to Netflix, all these type of companies. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say, you know, we were in talks with Yelp, and I'm saying Google said, why would you do that? I'm like, okay. So that's all I'm gonna say about that right there.
I don't know.
Shit about to go crazy.
Right.
It all started with the imagination.
Do you guys have any like you know, events that you guys do or anything upcoming like that?
So we first of all, let's talk about the event that's this month in January. We got an event January 18th. Okay. It's at the Flamingo Hotel and Resort. It's in Santa Rosa. These two gentlemen from San Francisco bought the resort and flipped it like a Miami type of hotel. It's like an outdoor circle motel. It's a dope. It's like real fresh and flashy. You know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean. So we're doing something this month, the 18th. Basically, what's called the GAUGR experience. It's like a glorified, the greatest meet and greet, eat and cheat event you can do. So it's basically
networking and co-mingling and everything.
I mean, and the good thing, the thing that sets it apart different is different people get to come in at different times. So general public comes in at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's like a normal little party thing, whatever you want to do, it's like normal. But if you want to be VIP or something else, you come in 2-3 hours early. You get to be part of the cocktail hour. upscale or Durval, and meet all the people the big people that's supposed to be there before the whole world get there.
Right.
So now it's you and like 50 other people, and you're chilling, and boom, then all the normal people come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So we got coming though.
So shit, this time we got Jadakiss coming, man, the world famous Jadakiss. You know what I mean? He coming through. You know what I mean? Young Jadakiss. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
And Mistah Fab hosting it. That's the day he get back from Africa. He in Africa right now.
Okay.
Doing his thing.
That's a good look. Him hosting and also going to Africa too. That's a good look.
So you know what I mean, just dream shit, bro. You never even, like as a kid, you don't want to go to Africa. You hear about it, but then you're like, fuck, I could go to Africa. Why not go to Africa? Fuck, okay. And then you go to Africa, like I dreamed of this my whole life. Just know as a kid, which is crazy. And I just want to, before we get much further, bro, it's okay to dream.
Yeah.
It's okay to be amazing. And a dream is not a goal, people. Okay. Know the difference, please. It's okay. Like your goal is a goal, and a goal. The difference between a dream and a goal is someone already did the goal.
It's action.
Someone already did that. What I mean by that is there's a blueprint for that. Mm-hmm. If there's a blueprint, it's not a dream. Okay? It's an actionable sequence that can make that happen.
Right.
A dream is something that no one has ever did. And I'm just saying, to reach any goal that I've seen, you gotta have a dream attached to that. Mm-hmm. Something no one ever did. Mm-hmm. And I teach a dream class at Youth Uprising in Oakland, and I try to, and they, as I explained it to them, I was like, there's these two brothers from the East Coast that said it takes 30 days on a ship to go from fucking East Coast to Europe. What if we build something that looks like a bird and we could fly across that fucking Atlantic Ocean? Mm-hmm. And that's the right words.
Right.
And I'm just saying that's a dream. You do something no one's ever done, attach yourself to that, but have some goals along the way. To prove the world that it's worth buying into your dream.
It's a
right?
line between crazy and genius.
I mean, to me, they're both the same. Just one's able to fucking, one's able to fucking, just follow through on some real ass shit. I'm just like, because they, especially if you're from I ain't grow up around a lot of rich people. So maybe rich people say you could do that. Yeah. You could be a fucking that. I'm from a space like, bro, I can't even pay rent. You ain't doing shit, bro. Right. You gonna be phoning like I'm phoning. I'm from that area.
To even start with that dream takes a lot for somebody that came with that yellow along the goal. So the fact that you make it out and you push towards that goal.
I mean, as just people, like, the dream looks glorified, right? So like, you got a dream, and I'm living it now, and it's like, yo, I'm fucking living the dream, right? And it's great. But people don't understand that the dream is a lonely, real lonely process. Real lonely, real humbling, real fucking embarrassing, hella shit along the way, right? And that's just it.
And so while you're speaking on opportunities, man, last question, what's one piece of game that you would give to the youth? I mean, you done gave all the game already, but what's one main thing that you would say overall?
What I learned is, it's like two-part question, like two-part answer. What I'm saying is, one, you can't decide your reputation, okay? Mm-hmm. Like you could walk around and talk about your reputation, but that isn't what sets your reputation. So just know that if you want to be the greatest, you actually have to be the fucking greatest. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you want to be a truth teller, you gotta fucking tell the truth. Because time allows itself to be true or not. And a lot of people in this industry, or people, they think it's the world so big that no one could like follow up on what they're doing. Because I'm not the president of the United States, people ain't researching, I can just lie about it. And I'm just saying that it's better to roll around in a Honda and say, this is my fucking Honda, and someday I'm gonna fucking have this. And let the world see you dream big, and let the world doubt you, and let the world tell you you're full of shit as they go back to going to their real ass life that they hate their shit. And a lot of people don't realize that the majority of the world, I want to say 95% of the world, every Monday do the exact same thing. Every Tuesday, they do the exact same thing. Same time, same location, the same route, the same store, the same gas station, all that shit. And if you can't see as someone trying to do something amazing, that it's way easier to infiltrate someone at that level than it is to wait for the big concert and try to compete with people that they don't pay to go see and think that that's your time. That's not your time. That's the time to reassure the people you met along the process that didn't even know you was gonna be there. And they're like, oh shit, diverse? Bro, they don't think you a Safeway? The fucking thing? No way! What? Hold on, man. This is my partner, Jeff, right? Jeff, come here, bro. Fucking diverse right here. Like, utilize relationships, okay? A lot of people know people and don't know people. And I'm just saying that to say this. Relationships are like handlebars. Unless you use them, they're fucking useless, okay? You're crashing. It make no sense. You know how many people got my fucking number? And back in the day when I used to press business cards, I got my business cards. That back when MySpace and shit came out, they post pictures of just my business card. And I'm like, you didn't even call me. Like, they much rather feel like they have the opportunity than hear the no. And I'm telling you, you're better off hearing the no.
Right.
And then look for the opportunity.
Yeah. And
if you make the no easy, the yes comes even easier. If you make it hard for someone to say no to you, they're going to ignore you. And that's what I realized. Motherfucker gonna ask you for your, like me in my position, they think I'm Russ Simmons, bro. They come up and like, bro, check me out, tell me, and they think because if I like the record, they own them. And I'm like, bro, I'm a 50-year-old white man, what the fuck you want from me? You know what I mean? Right? And then they resort to, I'm hella better than anyone you ever put out, like, fuck your bitch is ugly, like, I'm pretty, like, all that weird shit people do, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this work out? Where's this work out?
Where's the end result?
I'm just saying, like, be hungry and humble and very grateful, and just understand the personal relationship. The way you make people feel is way better than how people feel about you, and I promise you that. And that's your legacy in life. How you make people feel when they see you. If people show up and they smile when they see you, and they feel like there's opportunity and hope when they see you, and they feel this embracement, how dare you not go out and give more of that to the world? You know what I mean? There's a lot of people waiting at the bus stop that's not even sitting on the bus route, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you special, you gotta go be it. You know what I mean? If you fucking lie all the time, bro, that's who you are. You're the liar. You're the stinky kid. You're the stinky kid, dog. That's it.
Yeah.
And you don't get a chance to control that through your actions. And it's okay to fail in front of people. And a lot of people don't want to fail in front of people, so they'd rather sit out the game. And I'm just telling you that I became me because I was willing to sit outside trying to get in somewhere that they was gonna say no. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's just period, point blank. You gotta understand. I'm gonna tell one story about Russell Simmons real quick, bro. I met Russell Simmons 3 times, and he didn't say nothing till the 3rd time. And I'm gonna tell you how this went and how life works. And this is why I'm telling you what I'm telling you, is you gotta let the process play out. We at the BET Awards. My wife D-Ray working for Showcase Magazine. She has a pass to take pictures of the red carpet. Right? Me and Fab drive her down. Because I'm part of Showcase and Fab's still young. We out there, and that's when we come up with the greatest marketing plan in life, when we made these $20 bills. Folded $20 bills look like fake 20s when you throw them on the ground. 20s, motherfucker picking 20 up, and they're like, I got me. And there's Fab, and then it says, and that's when he was 20, and it says still 20 on him.
Yeah.
Still 20, forever after bread. Oakland legend, get used to it. We claim this shit. Right? And we out there like, bro, and we used to do these, we had these 20s, we used to put them in knots, bro, like put rubber bands around them. Just imagine we get the flyers with phone, we like, I'm like, man, we got tired of trying to have people flyers, like, man, fuck yeah, and then you want to get mad, like, it's hard to control that, bro. You about to spend money, you got to see, you're like, here, and they're like, get that shit up out of here. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Buy the free fucking CD, like, whatever you do, right? So I'm like, so I came with this little thing, me and Fab, we do this shit, and we're like, fuck, we didn't go with D-Ray to the thing, bro. We're gonna fucking throw these 20s on. The BET Awards and shit, we out here. It was the first year, though. Yeah. Very first year of BET Awards. This is how I made it, like, very first year. Right. I'm trying to get in, I'm walking up, hey, how you doing? My name Gary Sapowski, fucking, not Gary Archer, I'm Gary Sapowski on their ass, like, the fucking Jewish, like, trying to get in the building. Like, oh, mama, bro. They're like, wow, that shit ain't moved, right? So we out here fucking around. This shit made me, bro, I just promise you. So then, like, bro, we fucking, bro, we sneak up to D-Ray, like, me and Fab walk up to D-Ray, like, bro, we can go get something to eat and shit, right? D-Ray's like, do. And as we're doing that type of shit, I'm like, you want something? And she's like, shh. This back when it was filmed, so it wasn't digital. She's like, shh. And I look, and I see the lady over there with the mic, controlling the red carpet, right? And I see people walking up to this lady, handing her slips of paper, dog. And I'm like, and I'm sitting back, I'm standing by D-Ray. And I see people walking up to the slips of paper, and she just grabbed a paper, and she's next on the red carpet. Dude, I'm like, hold on. Mr. F. A, B, Oakland, California. And I walk up. I did that earlier in the interview. As you know, it's like, shit gotta get done. I walk up to that lady, and I go, I don't even talk to her. I'm like,
Yeah.
she grabbed me, put on the thing. I back up, and we just sit back and wait.
Yeah.
And we see to get to our shit though. Gotta get ready. Next on the red carpet, we got Mistah Fab, Oakland, California. What?
That was it. That was it after that.
We start walking through the joint though.
Yeah.
We walk through the joint, bro. Like you got me kidding. And now don't get it fucked up. My wife D-Ray, she bigger than me, bro. I'll be honest, bro. Like for real, this is my wife, like major gangster. And that was an early gangsterism. That's when it's like only magazines, no blogs, and so they love my wife.
Yeah.
So everyone's stopping for my wife already. Hey, D-Ray, what's up, bitches? Like, that's back when all the cars was like, get out the way. So before we got on the carpet, people was already like, bro, let D-Ray in front, bro. They fucking stop for her. So we get on the carpet, and we're like, oh, D-Ray, like, and then D-Ray's like, oh, fam, what's up, G? And now everybody
see it.
They going, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. When we walk in the joint, bro, we like in the food thing, we fuck with the food.
Right.
We doing all the shit.
Yeah.
I see Russell Simmons though, bro. I'm like, hey, Russell Simmons, how you doing, bro? Gary Archer, over in California. He's like, anyway.
Not the fist fan.
I'm like, cool, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I didn't be like, what the fuck? I'm like, bounced off. And we just did our thing. About a year later, fucking in Atlanta, they had the BET Awards. We see him again. Ross, what's up, dog? How you been, dog? Gary Archer, over in California. He went. I'm like, yes, what's up, dog? Now all of a sudden we get signed to Atlantic, we doing hella shit.
Right.
Now we're in this thing called Mix Show Power Summit in the Dominican Republic. We out there, there's about 3,000 DJs out there, and there's hella labels, hella shit going on. I'm like sitting from here, about 30 feet away from the door. Fab up there, his thing ain't playing right, so he just freestyling real quick. Now it's in between shit.
He working.
Russ Simmons coming a little late. 15, 20 minutes late, he walk in, beep. I don't know what you do when you walk in the room. I walk in the room and say, who the fuck I don't know? I don't know how it happened. He went like this. Gary Archer, California, what's up? I'm like, what's up, fool?
Motivation.
Right.
He ain't never said nothing to me though. But the whole planet in that bitch was like, Gary Archer? Who didn't do my hair? What?
Yeah, right.
And I'm just telling you, don't not waste your big moment on petty shit. Right. Go out there and become who you're supposed to be. Don't wait for the elevator. Right. It's cool to find the elevator, but yo, is there stairs? Is there where I can build something? And I just know we met everyone in the lobby and then we see them on the second and third floor. And if you take that concept into real life, motherfucker meet you in the lobby like everyone else got the same fuck. Oh, let me in the elevator, feel like that. But you just meet them like, oh, you're the dude, what's up, dog? Boom, boom. And all of a sudden you're on the third floor. You're like, bro, what you doing up here, dog? Did I see you in the lobby? You're like, yeah, dog, we out here building my fucking staircase. Like, bro, get the elevator real quick. Get the elevator real quick. It's the same concept my dad said. Push the car, motherfuckers want to help you push it. You know what I mean? No one wants to be the first, but they definitely don't want to be the last.
Exactly.
And I'm just saying, people a lot of times wait for their big moment to tell people. And to me, it's too late then, because now it's old news. Especially if you know something's going to happen. If you know something's going to happen, it's okay to talk about it 30 days in advance that, I don't know, maybe it'll happen, I hope it's going to happen. Like, oh, it's really going to happen. Let the whole world buy into the, you know what I mean? If you ever watch TV, you ever watch TV or fucking listen to the radio, they're like, oh, coming up, we got the, if I got no reason to stay tuned, why would I stay tuned?
Exactly.
They keep you engaged.
Engaged, baby, engaged.
With that being said, man, this is the voice of the streets, legendary Archer. I thank you for sliding through, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I am diverse, DYVURSC. You want to shout out your IG one time?
Yeah, legendary Archer, not like legendary, but legend, the word Gary, and then Archer, like the bow and arrow. That's who I am. Legendary Archer on Instagram. You could Google me, Gary Archer. I'll be a little humble. I might be the first 30 things. come up, maybe not, but check me out, man.
Here, man, Josh, shoot them your IG.
Hey, can I shout out a couple of my sponsors, man? Dope Bear, though, real quick. Fabulous Davis, we got a Dope Bear, man. We on Broadway, 19th and Broadway, man. That rent is hella expensive, man. Come through and buy some of these exclusive dope urban wear, custom made for your attire and your freshness.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Hot Boys, world famous Hot Boys, chicken sandwiches. Out of Oakland, they got a new location right behind City Hall on San Pablo, block away from New Parish.
Okay.
I promise you, the best chicken sandwich you ever had in your life. I promise you, go see those dudes, let them know Gary Archer sent you, bro. They're gonna give you something special, I promise you. So I just wanna shout them out, I wanna shout out Diverse, I wanna shout out GAUGR, Anthony for giving me another chance, man. We're gonna change the world with this shit. And come see us, man. Come fuck with me. I'm Gary Archer, man. If you're amazing, I wanna know about it. I don't care if you can tie a knot better than someone, bro. Let me know and I'm gonna try to figure out how to do it better for everyone to show the world.
Right.
That's just what I do. I'm a great pointer, man. So if you got something amazing and you don't know how to get it to the world, come fuck with me.
There it is.
Yes, sir.
Be sure you guys go and check out that GAUGR experience, you guys. You guys gonna do more of them too.
Absolutely, like we're gonna do
every month.
like every month, and then we're gonna do a big conference and all that. So just GAUGR experience, tie in, download the free app.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Legendary Archer on Instagram, man. Hit me if you need anything. I promise you.
Feel me?
I'm gonna talk to you a little bit.
GAUGR. Get it? Hello. I'm just saying though. And we out, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Ja, founder of Voice of the Streets podcast. I want to give a very special shout out to my co-hosts, Diverse and the Coach Lauren. Be sure you guys go check out the Voice of the Streets podcast on social media at Twitter, Clubhouse, Instagram, Apple, Google, and Spotify. Thank you.
I ain't stopping till I'm finished.